So we're going to do, so it's actually a back bending class, but it's called the psoas and the thighs, back bending and expansion. So when we do a lot of back bending, it has quite a profound effect on our emotions. So the psoas muscle, remember, is this, I'll just show you with this. Obviously it's a different shape to a belt, but it kind of starts round about here. And it comes up through the pelvis into the back. And it contracts a lot. So if you spend a lot of time sitting and you're getting stressed, it's holding all of that emotion. So emotion impacts it as well as impact injuries. And then the only way to release it is to stretch it because it won't release it on its own. So it's a really key muscle for emotional holding. The top of the thighs hold a lot of tension as well. And when the thighs and the psoas muscle are tight, it restricts back bend because it pulls us into this position, which closes the heart space and makes us feel quite low. So back bending is an expansive exercise. In terms of, when I mean expansive, I don't just mean in a physical sense, in an energetic sense, it's expansive because it opens the heart. So we're going to do a series of warm-ups for the thigh and the psoas muscle. Then we're going to do a series of back bending movements. And then we're going to move into some more challenging back bends. 2 bricks, regardless of your flexibility, and a belt. So let's start lying down. So throughout it, I want you to really pay attention to how the thighs feel and how the lower back feels. Also, another thing that restricts back bend is the tightness of the chest. So let's just start with the knees bent, but take the feet as wide as possible without compromising the knees or the hips. So we're going to keep the pelvis on the floor. So this is not a twist, it's a movement in the hips. Arms out to the side. Take a nice deep breath in. And as you exhale, drop the knees over to one side, trying to keep the pelvis anchored. So we're just working with the feeling, the sense of tenderness or tightness at the top of the thigh. Inhale back to center. Exhale, drop the other way. Then keep going. Good. Now, next time the knees are to the right, I want you to hold. Caution with the left hip and the left knee. So you might find that this is enough for you. You don't want to go any deeper. If you feel you can go deeper, pick up the right foot and rest it on the side of the left thigh so it draws the left knee much closer to the floor. And then really push the left side of the pelvis and the buttock towards the floor and extend the arms overhead. Breathe. Really reach through the arms so you can feel the tummy pulling inwards and you get this stretch through the thigh into the psoas muscle. Lovely, release. And then I want you to just let the left knee roll out to the left. So we're doing an opposite action and hold. So the right knee stays up, left knee's rolling out to the side. We're just breathing nice and deeply into the belly. Lovely. Bring the left knee back up. Drop the knees over to the left now. And if you feel it's comfortable, there's no compromise in the hip or the knee on the right side, pick up the left foot, pop it over the top of the thigh and draw the knee as close to the floor as you can and really reach through the arms. And breathe deep into the belly so the breath work itself starts to aid the stretch. Lovely, releasing. Just let the right knee roll out to the right. Lovely, bring the knee back up. Now take the feet even wider and we'll repeat the dynamic movement. So as wide as you can, you'll feel there's a bit of resistance maybe on the knee. Exhaling, let them drop. Inhale. Exhale, to try to keep the back of the body neutral, so the movement is just coming from the hip. Lovely, back to center now. Bring the heels so that they're in line with the sit bones. So the knees should be separate and the knees should be in line with the frontal hip bones. So they're the bony bits in the front of the pelvis. And as you exhale, push the bottom up off the floor. So coming up into bridge. Inhale to lower. So we're going to do a few dynamic movements before we hold. Lovely. Now I want you to take a brick and I want you to pop the brick on the mid height. So not as flat as it can and not as high as it can. So just on the width of the brick. And pop the sacrum on the brick. So remember, the sacrum is not the lumbar spine. You don't want it anywhere near the lower back. It's the sacrum. So when you pop your bottom on it, you should feel it's squeezing the buttocks. And then we're going to stretch the right leg out as far as we can, and then stretch the left leg out as far as we can. Sweep the arms overhead. Breathe nice and deeply. And really keep stretching, so we're not really relaxing into the movement, we're stretching into the movement as we breathe, and we're using the deep abdominal breath to encourage the stretch at the psoas and the top of the thigh. Good, now rebend the legs, keep the arms where they are. And as you exhale, push up as high as you can. Good, now bring the hands back, but keep the bottom off the floor. And then turn the brick onto the full height and rest it in the sacrum. So it's supporting bridge. If you find you can't get that high, then use the lower height. We're going to do one leg at a time, otherwise there's too much pressure in the sacrum. Extend the right leg out. Good, now I want you to take your attention to your shoulders, the upper arms, and I want you to literally squeeze them in. So you're resting on the outer edges of the arms. So you're lifting the heart space, stretch, really point the right toe, stretching out the right thigh. Remember to use a lower height if this creates too much pressure in the sacrum or the lower back. Good, rebend the right leg, extend the left leg away. Again, see if you can tuck the arms a little bit further under the body. So you're not really resting on the shoulder blades, you're more on the upper arms, on the outer edges. And notice how the breath, when you're really pointing that left leg away and you're breathing deep into the belly, you can feel the breath gently stretching the psoas muscle inside the torso and the top of the thigh. Lovely, rebend. Now let's see if we can push up just enough to let the brick release. So we're pushing a little bit higher, push up. Release the brick. And lower. Bring the right knee in, bring the left knee in. And just hold that position. So we're just counterbalancing now. So this is a forward fold as the knees come in. If you feel like you need to rock just to stabilize the lumbar, then have a little bit of a rock from side to side. Lovely. Now let's just give the hamstrings a bit of a warm. Hands at the side of the body. Inhale, sweep the legs up, arms over, pull the toes towards the face. Exhale. Release. Inhale. Exhale. Lovely. Hands to the knees, circle the knees nice and wide. Change directions. Lovely. Roll to one side. So make sure that you've got your bricks handy and your belts. So have the belts at the front so you're able to grab them. Bricks at the front of the mat. Into cat, spread the fingers nice and wide. Inhale, lift the gaze. Exhale, chin to chest, draw the navel in. You know, really squeeze the tummy in so you're flattening that area where the psoas muscle is. Inhale. Exhale. Lovely. Let's take one of the bricks. We're going to work on this section of the body now. So this, in order to back bend, we need to stretch this section as well. So bring the left forearm down and pop a brick on the flattest part. Make sure the fingers are over the front of the brick and that the elbow isn't going to touch the floor. If you've got restriction in your shoulder and you can't hold the arm like that because of restriction here in the rotator cuff, then bring the arm further out. So find a point at which it feels comfortable for you. Good, now the bottom's moving upwards, but we're lowering the chest as far as we can without the elbow connecting to the floor. Breathe. Now, if you feel that this feels comfortable for you and you want to increase the stretch, turn the brick a bit higher up so you get much more of a stretch into the underarm. Lovely, releasing. Switch sides. Start with the lower height, stretch back, feel the resistance in the arm and the chest area and the top of the rib cage. Could maybe turn the brick a little bit higher up. Each time you exhale, have a sense of melting the chest towards the floor. Lovely, releasing. Okay, now move both hands out into the corner of the mat so they're wide. Make sure the knees are just slightly away from the hips, moving backwards, about an inch. So you're not in a cat position, it's just slightly further away. We're going to melt the heart towards the floor. So as you inhale, look up. And as you exhale, lower. Turn the head to one side. Lovely, come back up, bring the hands underneath. Inhale. Cat-cow again. Right, step the right leg through. So if you've got tender knees, pad the knee up by either using a special knee pad, or you can just fold the mat like that so you've got a bit of extra cushioning. So we're going to start by lowering to the inside. So bring the hands to the inside of the right leg, and it'll really depend on your body mechanics as to how you do this, but I want you to feel that you're stretching the top of the thigh. So for me, I have to take my hands further out and lower my chest. So work out, so really listen to your own body, notice where it feels that stretch. You also feel it on the hamstring on the right side. Lovely, release. Now I want you to take both bricks on the full height. So we're going to use the bricks to lift the chest, which stretches the top of the psoas. And then we're going to take this left leg as far back as we can. So it might be that we walk the hands back in order to get a deeper stretch, but we're supporting it with the bricks. And maybe the hands come right back in line with the shoulders. Going to lower the left thigh as much as you can, and then lift the chest. So you might find you need to come on to the fingertips to get more height. So you get this curved shape here at the front of the body. So we're going to do a little bit of dynamic work so it's a little bit more subtle. Inhale, just lift a little bit so you're coming out of the stretch, front leg straightening. Exhale, sink a bit more. Lovely. Now drop that back knee, take the toes back, release the bricks, take the belt. So deepening the movement to the psoas, hold the belt. So work out how wide you need your arms. We're going to take them back so that their wrists are in line with the shoulders. Breathe. See how far you can go back. Don't compromise the lower back. So for some of you, you'll be almost vertical. Some of you may be much further back. Some of you might be slightly forwards if there's too much pressure in the back. Try to breathe deep into the belly. And feel the effect. So as you're breathing deep into the belly, you can feel it at the top of the thigh. Lovely, lift the arm up. So we're going to completely counterbalance that. So that was a series of back bends. Step back, separate the knees and fold forward. So now we're shortening all of those muscles and releasing them. Breathe. Lovely, come back up, step forwards with the left leg. So we'll feel it in the left hamstring and the right thigh. Start with that sideways motion. Work out how your body needs to move to feel the stretch on the right thigh. So you might need to take the knee further back. So I find that I like a rocking motion as well, as if I'm trying to roll the thigh slightly. You just notice what your body needs in order to get that stretch. Lovely, take your bricks. Use the full height. Remember, you might need to bring the arms further back in order to lift the upper body. We're going to take the right leg as far back as we can. And then lift the chest as much as you can. Lower the pelvis. Don't forget to breathe. Notice there may be an imbalance on the sides. Good, now let's do a little bit of dynamic movement. So inhale, just come out of the stretch a little bit. Exhale, sink into it. Really push out through that back heel. Inhale. Exhale. Good, last one. Really settle the knee to the floor. Release the bricks slowly. Take hold of the belt again. Find the width that you want to hold the arms so you can take the wrists back so they're still in line with the shoulders. Squeeze the shoulder blades in and then maybe go a bit further back. Good, come all the way back up. Let's counter balance, step back, come into the forward fold position, separate the knees. Good, inhale, come up into cat. Exhale, down dog, heel out the feet. Lovely, come forwards into plank. Drop the knees if you need to, or chaturanga to lower. We'll start with a cobra. So hands under the shoulders, squeeze the elbows in. Remember, try to get at least sort of 70% of the effort from the back muscles, and then that last 30 as you lift into the highest position. Inhale and exhale. So some of you might be quite high, others you may be a lot lower. If you've got tenderness in the lower back, then keep the navel on the floor so there's not too much pressure going into the sacrum. Good, now on the next lift, I want you to hold. So wherever is the best hold for you, listen to the body's feedback. Lovely, lower. Let's counterbalance into a forward fold. Separate the knees. Breathe deep into the belly so you can feel that breath pushing backwards to soothe the lower back. Good. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, lower. This time I'm going to bend the right leg. So if you struggle to reach your leg, hook a belt round it. Okay. Or you're going to hold the ankle. Okay, now notice the shoulder. If it feels as if it's coming forwards, roll the head of the arm bone back. So it feels as if the right shoulder blade is sliding towards the spine. Keep the gaze towards the floor. And as you exhale, I want to push the foot into the hands, so the knee's lifting as high as it can go. And that might be that it's not off the floor, but you can feel an effort. And now I want you to think about your pubic bone, pushing the foot into the hand, and push the pubic bone into the floor, and you'll feel the resistance at the top of the thigh. And then if you feel you've got the capacity, raise the left arm and follow the gaze. Lovely. Lower and release. Go the other way. Use a belt if you need to. Reach back, grab the left leg. Start with the face towards the floor. Push the foot into the hand. So my left side is a lot tighter than my right. Push the pubic bone into the floor. Squeeze the left shoulder blade in towards the spine, and if you want to raise the arm, lift the gaze. Lovely, and release. Well done. Counterbalance, push back. Good. Inhale, come up into cat. Exhale, down dog. Heel out the feet again. Lovely. Come forwards into plank. Engage those tummy muscles. Either stay in the plank and go into chaturanga or drop the knees. Good. Bring the elbows directly under the shoulders. Sphinx pose. Spread the fingers nice and wide. So check that the elbows are under the shoulders. They're not too far forwards. They're not too far back. Press the fingers, palms and the forearms into the floor and use that action to pull the spine forward so you can feel the back muscles contracting. Good. I'm going to go a little bit deeper. So we're modifying up. I want you to stay at any stage that feels enough for your body. So really listen. Bring the legs up. So it slightly changes the movement of the spine. Push the pubic bone into the floor. Good. Now, if this feels enough for you, you stay here. If you've got any problems in the knees or the shoulders, don't do the next movement. Reach back, grab both ankles. Squeeze the shoulder blades in. Now push both feet into the hands. Breathe deep. And you should find if you're in this position, you're breathing deep, you start to rock. Relax the face. Well done, and release. Push back, counter pose. Ease the back out. Good. Inhale to come up, exhale, down dog. Step forwards with the right leg. Look at the back foot, step it out a little bit and turn the toes out at a diagonal and come up. Check that this left frontal hip bone is not rolling too far over that way. He's going to come forwards. So that forwards action stretches the thigh. Bring the arms up. Good. Interlace all the fingers apart from the index. Good. Now we're just going to add into this natural curve of the body by tipping the fingertips down the back. Squeeze the elbows towards each other. Lift them up, lift the heart space. Can you go a little bit further back? So remember, if the back's screaming at you, then don't take that instruction. Keep the body further upright. Extend the arms. We're just going to counterbalance that movement. So we're going to come forwards and bring the hands to the lower back. Rest the tummy on the thigh. Breathe deep. Interlace the fingers behind the back. So we're just resting the tummy on the thigh, but we're going to work the upper body. Squeeze the shoulder blades in. Raise the arms up behind you. Lower the hands, come back up. Hop the back leg in slightly. I'm actually going to step back a little bit, otherwise I'm going to end up in the lights. So we're going to come into Rishi pose, and then we're going to move towards dancer. So it may be that you choose to stay in Rishi pose, which is a back bend and a balance. So bring the left leg up. Reach back, grab the toes. Make sure that the knee's moving in towards the right knee. And just that action of bringing the heel in stretches the thigh. With the left arm, draw the shoulder back so you get this opening of the heart space and extend the right arm up. So this is already a back bend. Feel it in the back muscles. Bring the right hand into chin mudra, so thumb and index finger together. Find a point to focus on, soft open gaze. Now, if this feels challenging enough, stay exactly where you are. Otherwise, we're going to slowly move forwards. And as you move forwards, you're tilting at the right hip, but you're pushing the left foot into the hand. Good, come back up. Release the leg, counterbalance, soften the knees, fold forwards into a soft forward fold. Feel the lower back releasing as it moves into an opposite action. Good, walk the hands to the front of the mat, walk the legs to the back of the mat, back into down dog. Let's do a sweep movement. Inhale into plank. Drop the knees if you need to. Chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, down dog. Step through on the left leg. Hop the right foot out slightly, toes rolling out diagonally. Come up. Bring the pelvis so this right frontal hip is rolling forwards. Extend the arms up, interlace the fingers apart from the index, Jupiter Mudra. You can now really reach. So as you're reaching, you're feeling the stretch. Tip the fingers down the back, squeeze the elbows, lift the heart space. Breathe deep. Good, let the hands come up. Let's counterbalance. Come forwards, place the left side of the torso to the thigh, bring the hands behind you. Interlace the hands. Squeeze the shoulders in towards each other, raise the arms up if you're able to. Hands come down, slowly come back up. Walk the feet towards each other a little bit. Bring your balance into the left foot, right leg picks up. Draw the heel towards the bottom. Squeeze the head of the right arm bone back. So you can already feel that back bend. Left arm comes up into Chin Mudra. Stabilize the breath. Remember, stay at this point if it feels enough. Slowly hinge from the left hip, pushing the right foot into the hand. Lovely, releasing, soft forward fold. Lovely, now lower the bottom so you bring yourself into a squat. So you're really stretching out that lower back because we've contracted the back muscles to bring us into a back bend. And we're just stretching them out. Good, now lift the back up as best as you can. So the back muscles are contracting to hold you upright. Bring the bottom to the floor. So the next sequence starts in bridge and it moves into full wheel pose. So lots of people won't be ready to do full wheel pose, but the movement towards it. So full wheel pose is called chakrasana. So it's where you come into you push up, but there's lots of stages before that. Okay, so coming down, I want you to be really careful. Many of you will probably maybe just stay in a modified bridge position rather than take it any further. So let's just start by repeating the movement for the top of the thigh. So take the feet as wide as you can, arms out to the side, and as you exhale, drop the knees. Inhale, bring them back to center. Feel how the movement's massaging the sacrum. So we've done a lot of work that's contracted the glutes as well. So feel it being gently stretched as well as the thigh. Lovely, back to center. So you also might find that you want to repeat the supported bridge if you don't want to go into chakrasana, and you use the brick to support that movement where we're just stretching the legs out as a preparatory movement. That might be better for your back. So it's really important that you listen to your own body. So the next movement is we're going to take our hands and we're going to bring our fingers underneath the shoulders. So the heel of the hand is on the floor. So even this tiny detail is really vital for some of these postures. So if you've got very tight wrists because you do a lot of computer work, it will restrict the ability to backbend in this way. And then, so we're just going to take it into stages. So take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, push the bottom off the floor. So we're just doing bridge, but we're just working out if our hands and our wrists have the capacity to support us. I'm going to hold. So this is stage one. If you think, do you know what, I quite like stage one, but I'm not sure I want to go any further, then take a brick and support the bottom so you can hold this position for longer. We're going to release. The next position, we're going to come on to the top of the head. Okay, so you take a breath in, and as you exhale, push up, and then lift yourself so you're just on the top of the head. Push the pelvis towards the ceiling, really work down through the heels of the hands. Lovely, releasing. We're just going to rest for a moment. We're going to do a counter pose. So bring the knees towards you. So if you feel that that movement to the head, if you took it, was really enough for you, then I want you to take the brick, pop it under the sacrum, extend your legs, take the arms wide, and just hold a much more gentle back bend. If you want to and feel you have the capacity, then we're going to try the full chakrasana, and we're just going to hold it for a breath and come down because it's very demanding on the body. So bring the hands under the shoulders. Take a breath in. And on an exhale, we're going to push all the way up. Come back down again. Bring the knees in. Good, I'm going to try that once more. And we're just going to see how long we can hold it for. So no more than 5 breaths. Okay. If you're not trying that, then you're working with a softer back bend. Take a deep breath in. Pushing up. And coming down when you're ready. It might be that it was 5 very fast breaths. Okay, bring the knees in. Really squeeze in. Now we're going to lift our head so we're in a tight coil, which is a forward fold. Lovely. And release the body down to the floor. So if you feel like you need to pop layers on, do so. We're not going to come back up again now. Stretch the legs out. Hands to the side of the body. If you feel that the back's had a bit of a workout and you need more support, then bend the knees and rest the knees against each other so they're rolling inwards slightly, which helps to release the pelvis at the back, the sacrum. Good. Now breathe deep to the belly. Place the hands onto the tummy. And we should actively feel the tummy lifting into the hands. So we're using that deep diaphragmatic breath. We're going to start to lengthen the breath out. Inhale for 4. Really slow the breath down. Breathe out for 6 or more. Good. Now I want you to move the hands to the outer edge of the rib cage so the elbows come wider. And really feel that lovely, expansive heart breath. Have a sigh out. Good. Now one hand on the center of the chest, one just above the navel. And feel the body moving under both hands with the breath. Good. Hands to the side of the body now. And scan from the top of the head all the way down through the body. Notice the front of the body, a sense of energy running a little bit more freely through the thigh and the torso. Gently bring both knees back towards you. Squeeze them in. Exhale into coil. And then roll over and come back up. Hands to the heart space. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way out. And then down through the midline. And namaste. Thank you for joining me.